What's up, people? A different kind of video today. Let's have some fun. I saw this tweet today. I'm going to try and find it again. Where is it? It was America versus Ukraine. It was a guy called Steve Boxman. I actually found it quite interesting. Fantasy World Cup of Boxing, who wins? Loma versus Mayweather, 135 pounds. Usyk versus Roy Jones Jr. We're going to talk about that one because I don't think he means cruiserweight. I'm guessing what he means is the Roy Jones Jr. that went from light heavy to heavyweight, so in between type thing. Vitaly Klitschko versus Holyfield, and Vladimir Klitschko versus Tyson. He's gone with 3-1 USA, but he hasn't said who he thinks is going to lose in that. So let's talk about it, right? Let's talk about it. Okay, first one, Loma versus Floyd. Woo-hoo-hoo! Loma Floyd at 135 would be fucking epic. It would be epic beyond epic proportions. Fuck me. Epic proportions. You know, there's almost 3 or 4 different versions of Floyd Mayweather. There's the young kid, obviously out of the Olympics, very aggressive, raw, but tremendous amount of speed, but could get hit as well. So he wasn't this defensive Floyd Mayweather that he's turned into. Then there was the end of career Floyd, which was extremely defensive, great counter puncher, laser right hand, could do a bit of everything, but extremely defensive, right? And the people got annoyed because of that, but it prolonged his career, and hence why he made so much money. There's the guy in the middle at 135 that had a bit of the old Floyd and a bit of the young Floyd combined, and that was Floyd Mayweather at 135 pounds. That, for me, is the best Floyd Mayweather we've ever seen. So the idea that versus Loma, fuck me. Fuck me. You've got to go with Floyd. You've got to go with Floyd. The speed, the aggressiveness. He had power as well at 135. It's weird because we don't think of Floyd as a power puncher now, but a lot of his knockouts came at the lower weight classes, so he definitely had power at 135. So as much as I think Lomachenko is just incredible, Floyd at 135, I think, was just scary. Honestly, just scary. Go back and watch him against Diego Corrales. The unbeaten, at the time, champion Diego Corrales. Go and watch that fight where he put Corrales down, I don't know, 8 or 9. I can't remember how many times he put him down, but go and watch that performance and you know what I'm talking about. Speed, counter punching, defense was good as well, aggression, literally tick, 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 tick. So I'm going Floyd to beat Loma, so 1-0 US. Usyk versus Roy Jones. This is the debating one because of what weight are we talking? Are we talking Roy Jones at cruiserweight? Doubt it, because it wouldn't even be a competition. Usyk would destroy the Roy Jones that we saw at cruiserweight. Remember, that's the Roy Jones later on in his career, the guy that got beat up by Enzo Maccarinelli and took fights against the likes of Courtney Fry. No, I'm talking about the Roy Jones that dominated light heavy and then went to heavyweight to fight John Ruiz. That Roy Jones. I'm sorry, guys. I think you know this. I think we forget. And we've got microwave memories, we do have. But I think we forget how good Roy Jones was. And that's because of his later career. So that later part of his career makes us almost forget that how good this guy was, the greatest fighter ever for a period. People literally saying Roy Jones is the greatest. Go and watch the clips. Go and watch some of the old school HBO boxing tapes. Roy Jones was considered the greatest fighter ever for a period of time. So if we're talking about the Roy Jones that had that jump from light heavy to heavy, so almost in the middle, I'm sorry, as good as Usyk is, and this might feel like I'm being a bit racist now because obviously I'm picking on the black guys, but it's not. As good as Usyk is, sorry, no. Roy Jones will smoke him. Smoke him. Usyk is good because of what he's fighting now, the Gassievs, and he's going to fight Bellew and all those guys now, the Hucks of the world. Roy Jones Jr. was a fucking phenom. Phenom. So Roy Jones for that one. Now is where it gets interesting. So 2-0 US, by the way. Vitaly Klitschko versus Holyfield. Woohoo! These are some fantasy matchups I like, boy. Vitaly Klitschko versus Holyfield. By the way, Holyfield is, I think, widely recognised as a top 7 or 8 best heavyweight of all time. Honestly, is that good. And when you consider he came from light heavyweight, obviously he definitely popped a few tablets. I'm sorry, he did. He's jumped from light heavyweight to heavyweight and all that fucking muscle. He definitely did. But I mean, he had some good wins. He had some great wins. I mean, look, this guy, It's weird how, although Buster Douglas beat Tyson, I don't know, Holyfield beating Tyson was even more bigger for me. And it's strange because obviously Buster Douglas, that was one of the biggest upsets in sport at the time, like in sport history. But when Holyfield beat him and when Tyson bit Holyfield, as if to say, I don't know what to do, I'm just going to bite you. I don't know, watching it made me feel like, fuck me, Holyfield is a monster. I remember I was watching it, obviously I was young, but I remember thinking, God, Holyfield is just... But Vitaly is even more of a monster for me. You're talking about a guy that's 6 foot, what is he, 6'7". At the time, best career record of any heavyweight. At the time, obviously, the Deontay Wilder's surpassed it now. But you look at the resume, and this is not his fault, because I do think he would have beaten anyone. Like, when you look at his brother's resume, I think Vitaly would have destroyed anyone his brother destroyed. Anyone. When I look at the resume, it's not steep. It's not stacked, right? There isn't anyone on there that I think, oh, there isn't. Would he have gone on to beat Lennox Lewis in that fight? Maybe. But Lennox Lewis didn't fight against it. Well, that was a tail end of Lennox Lewis's career. I don't know about this one. I just think that Vitaly could stop Holyfield. I don't know why. I think Vitaly, if he connects, Holyfield is out. But I do think the aggressiveness, is that a word? Of Holyfield, the boxing ability, he's the better boxer. He is the better boxer of the two. And he has fought big guys before. They're not big like Vitaly. Obviously, Riddick Bowe's big. Beat Bowe. Draw. I can't call this one. I think Vitaly's record isn't good because he just didn't get the fights. I think he would have smashed everyone. That period where he was fighting, I think he would have smashed everyone. And he just didn't get those fights, right? I mean, think of the only 2 fights he lost were... what was it? Chris Berg because of an injury? I can't remember. Was it Chris Berg because of an injury? And Lennox Lewis because of cuts. So no one actually even beat him. So he's pretty much unbeaten. So I'm going for a draw. I might sway to Vitaly. Mike Tyson versus Vladimir Klitschko. I'm sorry. And I know all the boxing experts out there are going to say to me, oh yeah, but Vlad reaches this and his jab would keep Tyson off. And oh my God, he's 6 foot this and Tyson's only 5'10", 5'11". I don't give a fuck about that. Vladimir Klitschko wouldn't get out of the first round, I don't think. I don't think he's tough enough. I don't think he has the heart for it. Now, I don't mean to be disrespectful when I say this. If you're talking Vitaly versus Tyson, we have another conversation. Vlad, I'm sorry, Tyson would rip him to shreds within 2 or 3 rounds. Like, just, no. 2 or 3 rounds, done, over. So, I'm going 3 guarantees for me. Jones, Mayweather, and Tyson, and Evander Holyfield versus Vitaly, a draw, possibly Vitaly. Don't know. What do you guys think? It's fun. Don't get too serious with it. It's fun. So I'm going 3-0 plus a draw. Some people have gone... I initially went 4-0, but in thinking about it, Vitaly probably could do Evander. But what do you guys think? Leave the comments below. Let's have some fun with this. Don't get too serious. Don't leave some comments saying, Addy, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. I do know what I'm talking about. I think.